We will call to order the meeting of the Stony Brook Community Development District. This is Wednesday, June 30th, 2021. The time is 6:01 p.m. And we'll let the record reflect that all supervisors are present at roll call with the exception of Supervisor Olive. Madam Chairwoman?
Do we have anybody with any public comments? Okay. John, staff report? Your Honor,
Okay, perfect. So let's start with the budget. I gave everybody a handout.
we are going to talk about the budget.
So you want to, okay.
Let's do all the budget together.
Sure,
So we'll go over
absolutely.
whatever you have.
Okay, so I have received the trees for 16. We're going to add 2 more Royal Point Siennas on 16. Straight away off the tee, there's a hill on the very end, out past the fairway up against the lake bank.
Okay.
And then the other one is going to be in the back right of the green, up on a hill, kind of away from the green. We're going to have to cut down some palms behind it eventually, just because it'll be sitting higher, and like the top of the palms will be like the low part of the tree. We'll leave them for now, unless it looks absolutely hideous. And then we'll probably be removing those dead pines that, most of us use as, do you want to go in between them? You want to go over, we're going to be cutting those down probably next week.
You don't want to just spray paint them green.
I can't get up that high.
Make them look
You gotta have special insurance to get up that high.
But you planted a cypress tree there, right?
There's a cypress tree and like 3 other pines.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll eventually.
Yeah, but they're growing, but that's just gonna take a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to the sub area, it's going great. We're on a great schedule. We have been very fortunate with the rain. We've been getting done every day right before the rain comes with what we have to do for the day. We're actually a little bit ahead of schedule, so that's really good.
How many holes do you currently have done?
Putting, okay, so let's see, chipping green, putting green, 1, 2, 3, 4's not, 5's not, 8 is, 9 is, 11 is, 12 is, 13 is, 14 is.
Okay, so you're well on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're well on our way.
What's it involved, John?
Right now what it involves is finding the specific outfall that we're looking for. Dig down, we gotta make basically dig down to it, cut a section out and install this piece which is like a backflow preventer. It has like a little door in it to let the water out, but when we're sucking in air, it creates a stop to make a vacuum. So you can pull that air and then the air will come through the sand and through the top of the green and pull the water down.
Okay.
So that's what we're installing now. And then most of these drains are pretty deep. Some are 3.5, 4 feet deep. So we got to build with concrete block, basically a vault, if you will. And it's because it's going to be down and you got to have access to it. And that's what's taking the longest is that.
We'll let the record reflect that Supervisor Olive has joined us.
But like I said, myself, Brian, and Todd, my assistant, my second assistant, we've been on it every day, and just getting very fortunate with the weather. Because I talked to the guys. I said we're going to get hit by bad weather. It's just going to happen. It has to. It's just going to be the name of the game. But so far we haven't, even with what's been happening recently. So that's really good.
So when the greens are redone eventually, will that stuff affect it in any way?
As far
As far as being in the way of when you redo the greens?
No, and here's the nice thing about that is you can take it out and reuse it. Like when you redo the greens, no matter how you redesign that green, if you totally get rid of it and elevate it, no matter what you do, you can take them out and put them in with your new greens. You'll always have it. They'll last.
So that will be affected with the new green.
Absolutely, yeah. You'll remove them depending on what you're doing. If you're just doing a regrassing, you don't have to do anything. But if you're going to do actual reconstruction and redesign, yeah, if they're in the way, you take them out, put in the new greens, and install them as you're putting in the new drainage for the new green.
Like redesigning the.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest selling points for me on it was the fact that we can take it with us when it's time. Well, you know what I mean. That's great. You always have it. So now you're gonna have new greens with sub air. I mean, that's just a great benefit. If you use that from the beginning, that's just gonna, be a great tool to have. I brought this up in the past several times. We had an issue out at the pump house not too long ago. It's a phase monitor went out. But Milo, the owner of Metro PSI, came out. He usually doesn't come out, it's usually his son. But he came out and, you know, he was pretty disappointed with how bad like the skid is and stuff. And, you know, he had mentioned, you know, we need to look into getting the pad really soon. Because they've done some weld jobs on some things, and it's just getting old. I've taken some pictures and I'll take some more. It's something we definitely need to look into. And he showed me some presentations he'd already done, I think out at Heritage Palms. It was already finished. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful room. You could eat off the floors. It was amazing. But also he showed me in a digital format how it's going to look, how it's going to be, and how much more efficient it is for the actual system. The way it primes up the system is much safer, less blowouts. It gets rid of all the air before it starts sending water down the line, where our system doesn't do that. It's just definitely something. It's gonna come about. And it's gonna be, you know, it's financeable, obviously, but it's gonna be anywhere from, you know, $400,000 to $500,000. That's a big nut.
Yeah,
You know?
hold your numbers. Let's take a look at the scope, because the magnitude of that does require sealed bidding.
Yeah.
So hold the numbers. I don't want the numbers to get out. But let's take a look at the scope, and if you're happy with the scope, we'll make that a part of a bid package. And we gotta go through the sealed bidding process, because it's over
Right.
300,000, so.
And I'll gladly take more documentation. And Milo said he will come here with a presentation with pictures, because I told him, I said, I would rather you present this to the board. I only know so much about, I can see that, hey, there's a bunch of rust and there's a bunch of juice in this thing, a lot of electricity, dangerous, high voltage, don't even want to get near it. It hums and it's scary, you know? And there's water, and so, yeah, that's what I know, you know what I mean? I know enough that looks pretty dangerous, it could be, at one, you know.
Have you got that in did he send that to you by email?
No, he sent it to me when he came out and replaced the phase monitor. We were talking, and he's like, and then Corey had also mentioned it to me on several occasions, and I was like, you know, I'll keep mentioning it. You know, we are where we are, you know, in finances, and
Have him send proposal of work in email.
okay.
Okay, and then we can sit there and work the scope and make it part of a bidding package.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, actually, when you're talking financing and where we are financially, irrigation fund is set pretty
We're
good.
fine. We don't have to finance it.
So,
That's why we've been depreciating for years.
so is the discussion, how do we separate this out? Does it go 100% under the irrigation fund?
Yep.
Then I don't think,
Sure does. We've
not
been,
that money's not an issue, but the irrigation fund is sitting pretty good.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't think along the lines of this is golf course expense,
Right.
which I think you are.
No, I know it's the irrigation fund, but I also know what, like where we're at, we've taken money from, you know,
You
borrowed
sure
money,
have.
and just, it's,
Yes.
You know, I don't-
Talking about,
you
but
gotta
if
get
we
it
I
have-
hate asking for money, man.
If we have a piece of equipment that has gotten to a
Yes.
point where it's a danger.
It's the heart, and it's the heart of the community. You know, you
Exactly.
gotta have-
It's not a golf course issue alone, it's a residence issue,
it is.
it common grounds, so maybe we need to
It's part of the fee,
accelerate
it's
this
part of the
and-
fees that everybody who uses that water has
Right.
paid into over the years.
And
Get the
Chuck,
bids out.
in your experience, I mean, we're what, 22 years into
Yeah,
it?
you're there.
This is the
We're
original.
there.
You're there.
Yeah.
We're replacing them at Fiddler's Creek right now. We're getting ready to replace them at Pelican Landing. We just replaced them at Pelican Sound, or actually, we're in the process of doing that this summer.
Yeah. I think he showed, is Milo doing that one? Because he
Yes.
showed me some of the actual renditions for Pelican Sound.
He's doing that one. Yep.
Yeah, and it was, because one of them was exactly like our skid was, and it was nice. I couldn't believe, I've never seen a pump house so clean with white walls and LED lights and everything.
Oh, if you just want lighting and paint, I can do that a lot cheaper.
I don't know, I don't think we're not gonna have drywall on ours, because we got, it's open air, you know, ours is open air, so you can't have drywall or nothing, it'll run.
But you know what? I'm not stepping in the water while I'm
But
painting.
new
That's for
floors,
sure.
and, you know, that would be nice, some nice white paint or something, just to brighten it up when you
Oh,
turn the lights on
yeah.
in there, because it is kind of dark. And
Yeah, so,
How long Get the information from him.
What's that? Oh, yeah, so the process, Jeff just asked how long of a process. He said right now, we would still probably be about a year out. And if you wait any longer, you might be a year and a half, 2 years out.
well, we pulled the trigger on Pelican Sound in March.
So
And it's gonna be done the end of the
maybe
summer.
that's a little sales pitch in there, you know?
You know Milo.
Little scare tactic,
He's
you know?
a fast talker.
When he showed up in a Range Rover, I was like, Milo, you can't show up to a job like this, you know what I mean? He gets out with a tool belt and he's got, driving like a 70,000 mile Range Rover.
Now, get that over and we'll get that set up.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So,
Because right now, we only owe the irrigation fund at 133,000.
Is it down to 133 now?
133,
All
whatever.
right.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
oh, that's
We
good.
like it.
Thought we were gonna-
yeah, so we're getting
200.
that down,
Good.
which is great. So, I mean, that helps as well.
It does. Absolutely.
Chris, were you gonna ask me something?
I'm sorry.
Well, so are we going to put it out to bid? What are we getting from Milo?
I think we'll get just a general bid from Milo, and we'll use that as a basis to get the scope of work.
Get the scope, all the bells and whistles kind of thing. If you guys have talked it through in detail and you're really pleased with it, maybe have them come in and make sure you all are happy with it. We know the ballpark of where Milo's gonna price it. We just gotta put the scope out there, so. I don't think he's a sole source. I think you have,
No.
comparables, different manufacturers of equipment, so I think you're good there. You don't have to treat it as a sole source, so,
So should we have them come to the next meeting if you could?
yeah. Let's, John, get me the.
I'll try to see if he can make it to the next meeting, but that's what I'm making a note now, is to have.
It's a morning meeting, the July meeting is a 9
No,
a.m.
excuse me.
meeting.
How long will the irrigation system be down while you're doing it?
Oh, that's a good question.
That was,
Not very long, a couple days?
no,
Day and a half?
I think it's a couple of weeks.
Or is it really a couple
Yeah,
weeks?
the easiest way for him to do is takes the roof right off the
Right,
pump house.
that section,
okay?
yeah, the
So
whole
you
thing,
take
new
the
roof.
roof off, and you gotta try to keep it dry while you're pulling out, but you're craning everything in, it's all,
And that's basically
Basically
taken off so much on that one that it
Yeah.
needs to be redone.
it's all basically prefab, but then he's gonna redo a bunch of the electrical with it, so it's a whole new package, it's all updated. I mean, 20 years, that's a long time for, technology has really ramped up on these things, so.
Should be much more efficient.
Should be a lot more efficient energy-wise, a lot more efficient pressure-wise, so you don't have hammering.
And we might even do something to think about. That pump house building, it has like sections that have just like these grates, and so it's open air. So when it's a real windy or heavy rain, heading a certain direction, it can get up in there, and especially from the top too. So maybe that's something that, if you're gonna have new floors and new lighting and, seal that off. I'm not saying put a central air system in it or nothing, still have it, but maybe put the vents in, or get them up higher, maybe build up half the wall and, leave the vent
Well, you
up top.
get the flappers with the fans on them.
Right.
Brings the air in, and they
Exactly.
can shut down.
Automatic temperature gauge, right.
Exactly.
As soon as the temp gets a certain temp, it just
Yeah.
exhausts, big exhaust fan.
That's what we have at Fiddler's Creek.
There is an exhaust fan on there too,
Is there? Probably
Yeah.
hasn't worked in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've heard it on.
Yeah, so when you speak with Milo, tell him that these are the things that you want.
Yes, yeah.
So this would
Why
be-
it would have been built open air to begin with.
It's probably not-
Back in 99, 2000, that's a good question. Just for,
It's the preferred way. I mean, if you, ideally, have them just completely open, no walls even. But
Yeah.
for noise abatement, you put walls around them. Over in Pelican Landing, we actually insulated it and sealed it tight because it literally, that pump station is like 100 feet away from living units.
So's ours.
So we were working against that, so
So the same situation
somewhere.
for us.
yeah.
But I don't recall ever really hearing it.
yeah, I don't know, because most of the time it's running early in the morning, from like 10
Be
PM
a good reason.
until, 4 AM, something like that.
So it's something you do in June next year anyway, because you can't do it in the season, obviously. when
No,
it's dry.
no, you want to do it in the rainy season, even though that's working against you because you're taking the roof off it, but at least you're not so reliant on the, on the use of that. You got the rain, so.
All right, Joe.
The flowers, we were talking earlier before the meeting. The current set of flowers we have now, salvias,
Didn't make it.
look like crap. Let's be honest, they look like hammered out dog crap. So I wanted to talk with you guys and see maybe, I've never used them before. It was a recommendation and I took it, and I don't want to use them again. I don't know what happened. We've done nothing different than any other set of flowers. There was no special care package I received with it. The first month, they were looking pretty good. We got some dry, windy weather, but I was telling Mike, we stayed on top of it pretty good. And then it's just like, there was a certain time where everything just kind of said,
Curled up and died, yeah.
yeah. So I'd like to pull them eventually, soon, maybe at the end of July, or even sooner, and find something cheap to put in, something, like I said, around the 80 cent a flower range, and it's probably going to cost, right, $2,500, $3,000.
Because it looks.
Or we can leave it bare and just do like the center medians. We can leave maybe like the golf course pots, SB bed, Duffy's, we don't have to do behind Duffy's.
No, you don't do that behind Duffy's, and, I don't know how much
But,
would,
I do that because, I mean, it's a front of the house issue. You want the front of the house to always look the best it can.
okay.
I mean,
we
you
don't
don't have,
have many flowers anymore. We've gotten rid, and put them at the focal points. We've gotten rid of a lot of flowers.
Okay.
right.
So,
Well, price it out because it does look really,
you want me to bring it to the next meeting, or?
I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and spend up to $2,500 to get the new flowers in, because right now, to wait another month. Because, I got a comment from somebody yesterday there, and I'm like, oh, it's just the heat, because I didn't know, I'm like, so anyway, so I would like to make a motion to have John spend up to $2,500 to get flowers to replace them.
And also.
I'll second it.
Any comments?
So we're talking about the golf course only, or
No,
even in the front?
even in the front.
Yeah. Yeah, it needs to be done. Any comments? Yes.
Not the missing plants, it also was plants that are green,
Where at?
the meeting. You have the flowers.
Oh, that's where he's gonna, do you understand the flowers by where some of those green seagrass ones
There's a lot of those missing.
Everywhere.
coming in?
That's what I was trying.
Specific.
Where are they located?
When you come out of the meeting, then you have the flower bed, and then.
The very first median, or is it
Before the game, after the game?
the very first one with the big tall palms?
Yeah, you have the flower bed, and then you have those plants like, I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, I think the Laripe.
There's quite a few missing, so you got some empty spots. Those should be good.
Okay, so if you can do that sooner than later, John, just to make it look more, I know you guys are really busy right
Oh,
now, but it needs to be done.
Last but not least,
Oh, wait, all those in favor of spending
Oh.
$2,500? Aye, opposed? Okay.
last but not least, I have those leases that we talked about, we approved last meeting. These are just the actual physical leases that I need you and Chuck to sign. I'll find it at the end of the meeting
Okay.
sometime.
You can sign it here.
And then obviously I got the budget stuff, we'll wait on
We'll
that.
talk about the budget. Okay. Thanks, John. Jeff?
None of this?
That's common, I figured that was gonna be in the budget too.
Okay, this is part of budget, okay.
Yeah, so June's been a fairly good month. I mean, we're over budget again by about $11,000. Pretty much right where we budgeted for green fees, and then we've been up in range and up in concession, up in pro shop sales. So we're doing good. This is, I don't know how many months in a row we've been above budget, but we're humming along pretty good. And, the weather does affect us some. I mean, the afternoon rain, we did have, we had a little league that was going to go out at 5:30, and we had, some players signed up for after 4 o'clock. So we've missed out on that business for about a week with this rain, but other than that, it's been solid and steady. The golf carts continue to perform okay. We're trying to make it to the end here, the first, sometime in August. I don't want to say the 1st of August, but sometime in August we'll receive a new fleet. They're blue, sea blue, and they have speakers. So
Same GPS?
Same
Are
GPS.
they gonna replace, take the other ones out, put those in there?
No, they're all new. It's all new.
Wi-Fi? Speakers?
Wi-Fi speakers, yeah.
Bluetooth.
It's a Bluetooth, so you can take your phone and boop.
Right.
So, super popular nowadays. A lot of people bring their own speaker. It was a very inexpensive add-on, so we put it on there. Kind of holding tradition. We were one of the first courses with GPS. We're going to be one of the first courses with speakers. We will have control. I know that this is going to be an issue going forward a little bit. We will have control volume on them that we can keep them from blasting you out of your homes.
Okay.
So they shouldn't be able to take them over a certain decibel level. If it ever becomes an issue, please call the shop and we will take care of it. Junior golf, I mean, it's been, we had a junior golf event on the 22nd. We had a 9-hole event on Tuesday. We've got a huge event coming up here in July with the American Junior Golf Association. It's having one of their national events here, 3 days. We have a qualifier this weekend for local kids, 2 days, Friday and Saturday. So, we're doing pretty good with that. We're going to have 99, well, it's not 99.3 anymore. It's 98.1 ESPN starting Friday. They'll be out here to do a live show on Tuesday and promote the course and promote the tournament. So if you want to see some of the best junior golfers in America, they'll be here July 11th through the 18th. Playing right here at Stony Brook. So we're looking forward to that. Men's league's going great. We're having big results there. Nice turnout. Everything's going good. We don't have a lot going on besides that. We did have a little bit of turnover. Kyle Schulte left us. Kyle, his fiance became a doctor recently. She's going to be working at Tampa General. She's a PharmD. She's working at Tampa General, and he's going to go up there so they can cohabitate until they get married. He's going to work somewhere in the Tampa area. He doesn't know where yet. Peyton Hare joined us. She's a marketing. She's got a degree in marketing from University of Central Florida. Bright young lady. She's going to be working with. She's not a golf pro. And Tyler passed his PAT a little bit back, and he's becoming a registered PGA apprentice.
Peyton, excuse me, is doing a lot of golf. She's good.
Yes, very good.
When I spoke with her, she said I know computers were right at her alley, so she's doing a lot of good golf. She's great.
Yes, she did. She did score men's state today.
Yes.
So she's doing really well. So we've transitioned from that and to a new look, and we're moving forward. Yes, ma'am.
Are you getting a new look for the beverage cart by any chance?
Yeah, well, the one beverage cart is being replaced. It finally ran out of juice, per se. What do you know?
Oh,
Place-
no, I was just wondering, just so it doesn't look
Sibby
like
knows. He's sitting right next to you.
cart,
What's that?
just so it doesn't look like a utility cart, because when I'm in my backyard,
It's going to be a utility cart, ma'am.
but what about looking into like sponsorship of having maybe like a wrap done?
Maybe, we could look at that. I mean, the utility cart, the electric model that we want, because we don't want the noise, is best in that cart style from Easy Go.
Just something with a little bit of color, so when it's coming across, and I mean, if anything is on a sponsor,
Well, maybe. Jack's always up, Mancini's always up for something like that. So maybe I'll put Jack Mancini on it, or maybe Pelican Pest Control, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll look at that, but for sure,
One on each side of the cart.
it looks very similar to the one we have. It's a little bit updated. The bed won't be orange this time. It'll actually match, which kind of looked tacky too, I thought, but it was cheap, so we went with it. But there'll be a new bed on it, and it's actually up there now. We have it, so.
Are you using it now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
We don't have the bed yet. We're using coolers with it. but we're using it. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Okay, the tree removal along Corkscrew. I did receive a phone call from Jennifer, who's the marketing liaison for the village. The county is putting up a 6-foot fence, not an 8-foot fence. They are going to be putting green cloth barrier, whatever you call that. I asked them to put it on the inside so that people don't have to see the fence. I also said to her, I don't care if there's a ½ inch rip on there, I want them out there fixing it because I don't want it to get ripped and be flapping and having to call weeks later to have that done. And I know we still have some issues. Tony was sending a letter to...
Yeah, it's circulated a letter to you all, and I think Mike and Eileen had chimed in on it, didn't have any issues with it. I don't know if anybody else had any suggested edits or not. Lenore Breakfield's here tonight in Tony's place since he's in Alaska.
One meeting and he leaves.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
I thought
You
the
guys
letter
wore
was,
him out.
I thought the letter was fine.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll get it out. So it was so
Sorry,
close
I
to
thought
this
we were only
meeting, just
supposed
wanted to have
reply
one
with
last.
changes. I thought we were only supposed to reply with changes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any, so I didn't
Well,
reply.
it always helps when I get a thumbs up too.
Okay, sorry,
Thumbs up, so,
I just
thumbs
read
up.
it and thought
Thumbs
it
up
looked good.
tells me I know you've seen it, so.
Okay. I'm
Very
in.
good. So at that point, I have not, because I've been away for a couple of weeks, have not seen, I don't think the fence is up as yet. No.
No.
Okay.
Did they say why it was only 6 foot? Is it only coming 6 foot widths, is that why?
They are struggling to get any fence at all, which is the problem. And I think they have been able to secure a 6-foot fence, and it was going to be several weeks before it was here. Just like with everything else, it's hard to get anything.
Yeah.
So I know they're struggling with that. So yes, it's only going to be a 6-foot fence. But they are going to have, I have a choice of black or green. I went with the green.
Yes.
I thought that would be nicer, and I want it on the inside so that you don't have to look at the fence. So we'll see what happens and take it from there. So and the letter will go out to the county. So that'll be good. So be on top of that. Okay.
I guess we really can't make a decision on how to move forward until we get a response to that letter.
Right.
Right. You know, and the other thing, and let's see, when I had the meeting with Bill Reynolds and we were at the village, again, they're talking about an easement out there, and again, I said to Steve and to David, I need something in writing, you know. I'm not just going to go on verbal, and I said I need, you know, our legal department to look at it. Have not received anything from them with regard to how much of an easement, where the easement actually is. So at this point, I'm not making any yay or nay with anything with them, and I told them that I couldn't make the decision. The legal department had to review it and take it from there. So that's still kind of up in the air. I don't know how they're going to do a sidewalk while all this road construction's going on. So, you know, it'd be nice if they could work in conjunction, but it doesn't look that way. So, you know, if anybody says anything about the sidewalk and the easement, we have not received anything to date from them. So I'm just...
Question about the sidewalks. Is that sidewalk also going to be for biking or just walking?
It's going to be a 10-foot wide asphalt sidewalk to be used for walking and biking.
Good, so biking won't be on the main corkscrew road?
No.
Perfect.
So that's what they're trying to, that's why it's 10 feet wide, and they won't do concrete, they'll do the black asphalt.
Great.
So that's what their game plan is, but again, I'm not sure exactly where it's going to be, but they want people off the road. Good move. Okay, so that's, okay, now to the budget.
Let me go first.
John and Jeff, I sent you the information from Joe yesterday with regard to the insurance.
Yes, ma'am, I got it.
I spoke with him at length yesterday, and the price of insurance has gone up, as it has all across Florida. He was looking at other companies, and other companies at this point aren't even entertaining any changes or going into any place in South Florida at this point. So.
What is the main reason?
Because the insurance companies spent over $10 billion last year in insurance claims for roofs and everything else back to Irma and all other kinds of things. Well, and again, remember last year they had the hurricanes up in the Panhandle.
Sure.
So across the board. So the companies aren't entertaining looking at any other areas in Florida. And I'm sure a lot of it is because of the hurricane season that they're anticipating this year too. So yes, we have an increase, but I'm thinking, not knowing what this hurricane season is going to be, at least we have better coverage.
How much is the increase?
13%. It's about just under $10,000. So, and it was split between John and so the equipment and all, and the tent is on there this year as well. So, so you can work that into your budgets.
Okay.
So it's actually going to be 6.5% piece, right?
Well, it goes under one, it's under administrative.
Yeah.
All insurance is under administrative.
Right, so it's just that, so we know that everything's there, and I have all the documentation that I can forward to you guys.
Do we have an actual number, what that 13% is?
84,000,
86,000.
86.
But I sent you the list, the breakdown for the property and all the equipment and all in the email, so, we can look at that.
Yeah, get some,
We'll get together for some.
yeah, absolutely.
So, that covers everything. So,
Do it next week sometime?
Yeah.
yeah,
Make sure everything that's on there that we actually still have.
right, so, I have all the documentation, and Joe said he would gladly come down and speak with us if we needed more clarification. Okay. All right, Joe.
Well, I'll go first, because we'll talk a little bit about the revenue end of it, and then John can get into the expense. And I don't, the golf shop itself doesn't anticipate a great deal of expense, maybe some payroll change, and then maybe some payroll change in concessions. But other than that, really no other added expenses in the pro shop per se. But when we talk about revenues, so coming into this year, we estimated total income, gross income of 279,612. Currently, we're at a pace where by the end of fiscal year, we're going to be close to $3 million. So what I propose for 2022 is $2,975,767. And how we get to that number is we made some increase in the revenue of the snack bar, obviously. This year we're looking at probably by end of year we're going to be somewhere around 150 to 160,000. A little bit of drop back for the fact that Duffy's is open, but still, I think with the current staff and some changes that we've made over the last 6 months, we can anticipate that still to be at that, $135,000 to $140,000 range for the year. And then if we drop the rounds numbers in for this year, looking at this one, this guy here, we have estimated rounds, paid rounds at 45,434, and that would take us to this 2,975,76 number. So basically these rounds are derived. These were the same rounds we did this year. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, coming into this season, we did not have Canadians, or very few. We had some. Can't say we didn't have any, but.
Few Europeans.
And very few Europeans. So we will pick up some business from that. And I would hope that we are able to maintain the same levels of participation that we had this year, going into next year, due to the fact that we have a lot more residents in Lee County and Collier and Charlotte than we've had in the past. And the only thing that would keep us, to me, to achieving this goal would be weather. We did have a perfect season for weather. we had 0 rain dates, January, February, and March, and April. So we had 120 days with no rain, basically.
This hasn't happened, I don't think so.
Yeah, so that's, that's kind of unusual, but they're not calling for an El Nino that I've seen, which means a rainy winter. We only had one of those in the last couple of years. As long as we have a La Nina, we should be okay. That would be the only anticipation I would have in the revenues decreasing. Now, the plan with this would be to keep our expenses around the same. John's going to talk about a little bit of added expense, but keep our expenses around the same. And the plan going forward for 2022, 2023 would be sometime in that fiscal year or even into 2023, 2024, have the cash on hand to put back another bond payment. So we can kick that can further down the road because, the eventuality is, just like the pump house is running out of time, the greens on the golf course are running out of time. We only have so many more years that we're going to be able to get off the longevity of the greens. So the quicker we can pay our portion of the bond off, the better we are. And for you guys, 2023 as residents, that's a set in stone thing.
So you're saying that we're going to put this money aside and then make 1 or 2 additional bond payments?
That would be the plan.
And we can't prepay that, right, Chuck? Okay.
Sure can.
That's what we're trying to budget towards.
Okay,
We have one now, right?
We have one now,
right. And if we can get a couple more.
and we get 2 to 3 more, that brings that date further closer, 2025. 2025, then we can look to pay the bond remainder off and then finance the greens renovation and the finishing of the cart paths.
Okay.
To your point about the beverage cart, thanks for bringing that up. Part of the reason why we have that beverage cart that's more like a utility vehicle is because of unfinished cart paths, because we have rough terrain to go over. A lot of the issues that we've had with carts over the last decade that I've been here, it has to do with the fact that we have